Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Hope everyone's doing well. I've been out working all day, other than I think I made a video earlier on. And of course, Julian, Coach's Corner, very kindly sent me a short video because we just couldn't get couldn't get the connections to work properly. Either a bandwidth issue or some other technical issue, certainly beyond my ability to figure out. As most of you who watch this channel know, I'm a real low-tech kind of guy. I pull down the screen record thing, press the right buttons, and normally it works. But we couldn't get a clean copy. It always sounded as though Julian was sort of garbled. So big thank you, cheers mate, for sending me a short video which I've uploaded. I wanted everybody on this channel to at least get a sense from Julian about what he thought about the fight, and he of course disagrees with me. His view is that Canelo will win, and I thought that Crawford will win. I'm going to recommend you go with his recommendation. He knows a lot more about boxing than I do. I've just been a fan for many years. Anyways, moving on to heavyweight boxing. I watched, I guess it was 2 days ago, I was flying all day yesterday, just a ridiculous day from 3 a.m. until pretty much midnight. I was in various stages of transit. So I guess it was the day before, I watched the Parker Fabio Wardley press conference. Now, as you know, I like both those fighters. I really do. So for me, I'll be cheering for both kind of thing. It doesn't really matter to me who wins. If I had to pick a favorite that I like more, I'd say I think I like Fabio more because he's like the underdog, the white collar background with the killer equalizer punch. But hey, I'm a big fan of Joe Parker. And the reason I like these guys is their out of the ring demeanor and the way they conduct themselves, really. It goes a long way with me. And that was on display at the press conference. Both Fabio and Joe were respectful of each other. They had nothing bad to say. There was no table throwing, no spitting, no running the mouth. They were just two fighting men who want to meet as professional athletes in the middle of the ring and get it on. And both could avoid this fight. Both could sit on their hands and say, I'm the interim champion of the WBO and I'm the interim champion of the, is it WBA? But maybe. And they could just wait their turn to have a crack at Alexander Usyk, or if Usyk is either stripped or gives up belts, to fight for that belt. But they both want to fight each other, and apparently the deal was easy to put together. And again, as a fan, you've got to really respect that. Now, there was a little bit of nonsense, and when I mean nonsense, I mean braggadocio, puffery, putting too much of a polish on it, when the manager of Joseph Parker said something that honestly is a bit foolish. And he said that Joseph Parker's been on one of the best runs of wins in boxing history. And of course, he's talking about beating Zhilei Zhang, Deontay Wilder, and Martin Bakole. And of course, they were Zhang and Deontay were both top 5, and Bakole was probably still top 10. So on paper, yes, it's a good run. But I've been a fan since late 60s, early 70s. So I could think of many instances where, put it this way, the names of Zhang, Deontay Wilder, and Bakole aren't exactly, the names that some other heavyweights have put away. So it was it's a good run. But to say it was one of the best runs in boxing history, well, there's promotion, there's bullying up your fighter, and then, quite frankly, there's just bullshitting. And you can choose. I've already decided which category that falls into. He did try to walk it back a little bit when when Fabio's sidekick there was taking issue with it. But other than that, a very respectful press conference. Both fighters obviously have a lot of respect and probably get along with each other, right? And that's the thing. You don't have to hate the person you're competing with, right? It's just I'm going to put my skills against your skills, and we'll see how it goes, kind of thing, right? One of the things that is, it's true, but it's not really something you want to rely upon, is that Fabio Wardley has this great equalizer. He can be losing, he can be, on the bones of his arse, as they say, and then boom, the other guy's on the canvas. And we saw this with Justice Hooney, who was, I don't know what the scorecards were showing, but like he was giving Fabio a bit of a boxing lesson, much to my chagrin, because of course I'm a Fabio fan. And now a Justice Hooney fan as well. Justice Hooney, I think, gained a lot of worldwide fans of that performance. But then in a blink of an eye, just like the aforementioned Deontay Wilder, boom, things are equalized. But that's not something you want to rely upon, right? Because eventually it's going to fail, as Deontay Wilder proved when he wasn't able to put Tyson Fury away. But anyhow, so there was much about that, right? About, essentially, I've got the equalizer kind of thing. But Joe Parker was saying, look, I'm different to those guys. Now, Joe Parker has been knocked out. Let's not kid ourselves. But Joe Parker's also cagey. He's very skilled. He's a better boxer. And he's got lashings of experience. So if it's a boxing match, then I'm not seeing Fabio being able to prevail. And if Fabio cannot pull that equalizer out, then it might well be a long night and possibly a painful night for Fabio. Now, Fabio will be the crowd favourite, I would assume, because this fight in October is going to be held in London at the O2 Arena. And I would imagine that the crowd will be very supportive of Fabio. But also, Joe Parker's got lots of Brit fans, I think. If I'll do a prediction nearer the time, but I'm thinking that this is Joe Parker's fight to lose. Like, he should win this fight. But I'll be happy either which way. But the press conference was an enjoyable, easy watch. I don't think that as fans we can learn anything about it other than the manager should probably be quiet. Spencer Brown also spoke, and he sort of said, look, Joe Parker's simply, a different fighter to anybody that Fabio's ever fought. And that's absolutely true. Like, who would you say is Fabio's best win to date? Fraser Clark? Or Justice Hooney, maybe? David Adeleye? All good, solid fighters. But this is a clear step up for Fabio. If Fabio wins, it'll be a fabulous, terrible pun, sorry. It'll be a fabulous story, from white collar all the way through to, I guess he'll still be an interim champion. But, for Fabio to make it to a real world champion, that would be awesome. Especially when you think, 10 years ago, he was still, I think he was selling insurance, maybe? I should have done this research. But he had a sales job of some description, and he was doing white collar fighting, just because it was his thing, right? Where 10 years ago, Joe Parker was a world champion. So, for them to be meeting now, it's a dream come true for Fabio Wardley. And I wish both fighters all the best. I think it's going to be a good fight. Joe Parker has said also, and this came out in the press conference before I forget, that he's going to meet Fabio Wardley in the middle of the ring. In which case, he's playing to Fabio Wardley's strengths. If they have a good old-fashioned ding-dong in the middle of the ring, That'll be fireworks. I would have thought that Andy Lee would come up with a different plan for Joe Parker. But anyways, hey ho, we don't know yet. But I'm gonna enjoy this fight, and I don't think we'll see a lot of spice in the build-up. There'll be another press conference and all that sort of stuff. We might see some manufactured nonsense on the part of the manager type folks who are around. But I can't see, for example, Andy Lee or Ben Davidson going at each other. There's a lot of mutual respect in these camps, which is something that I personally like. I like to see fighters give it all in the ring and be respectful outside the ring. I'm just not big on this running the mouth stuff. But hey, I understand it sells tickets and it's a business and it's sports entertainment and all that WWF, dating myself, WWE kind of stuff. Anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the fight in general. And I'll be certainly keeping our fingers crossed that there's no hiccups or anything like that. We look forward to that fight taking place. I'm excited. Okay, folks, please like, please share, please subscribe if you can. Sorry to keep asking. It's almost like a habit, isn't it, really? And have a fabulous day wherever you are. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.